Hey, Phantomaniacs! Welcome to the newest unboxing here on the Needless Things YouTube channel. Today we are looking at a beautiful WCW Eddie Guerrero, one of my all-time favorite wrestlers. I became a fan of Eddie Guerrero's in WCW in like 97-ish, early 97, I guess. But I mean, he was one of those guys. If you were watching wrestling back then, you know that the guys were Eddie Guerrero, Dean Malenko, Chris Jericho, DDP. Like all those WCW guys were just amazing. The charisma, the athletic ability, everything about them was just mind blowing. Compared to what was going on in WWF at the time, which don't get me wrong, WWF was really firing on all cylinders then too. But Eddie, he was just a guy you had to watch. Every segment he had, and there were plenty of guys in WCW then that were entertaining. As a matter of fact, I would go so far as to say most of them were to some degree, but Eddie was a guy that you had to watch everything he was doing. And of course, he went on to have a Hall of Fame career and to break all kinds of glass ceilings, and is a high watermark for what a professional wrestler should be. But when I think of Eddie, as much as I love his WWE career, when I think of Eddie, this is what I picture. Down to these tights being what I picture. And interestingly, these tights are what the recently released downloadable Eddie Guerrero is wearing, which I'm going to do the hand gesture that gives me a cue to put a picture in. From the new WWE 2K24. I guess it's not new. We're probably a couple months away from 2K25 at this point. I don't know, but they just released a WCW pack, and this is the gear that Eddie is wearing. I'm relatively certain. So anyway, this figure was a must-have. Unfortunately, it is a Walmart exclusive, which are the worst things in the whole entire world because it is part of their Monday Night Wars Walmart exclusive releases. But fortunately, I'm a member of the Major Wrestling Figure Podcast Facebook group, and one of the awesome people in that group found some extras of these and sold them for cost plus shipping. As a matter of fact, I would say, no, cost plus shipping. So I was very fortunate to get this one. And of course, the day after it arrived, they went up on Walmart.com for regular price for sale, which doesn't ever happen. With this stuff. Like, if you don't get in on the pre-order, you are very unlikely to be able to order it from Walmart ever. But whatever, I've got it, and that's all that matters, because this is one of those figures that I couldn't not have. So let's open it up. Back of the box, nice little shot of the figure, nice shot of Eddie. Height 5'8", from El Paso, Texas. Finisher Frog Splash. Career highlights: WCW United States Champion, WCW Cruiserweight Champion. In front of his hometown of El Paso, Texas, Eddie Guerrero faced his nephew and WCW rookie Chavo in a tag team match. Eddie did not hold back, taking it to Chavo and beginning a months-long initiation that eventually broke his nephew's spirit as well as his mind. What a batch of verbiage on the back of this box. But I think the most interesting thing about it is the fact that they mention Chavo, which makes me hope that there are plans underway to get us some Chavo figures out. Because you'll notice as a tag team match, they do not mention the other people involved in that tag team match. So I think the fact that they mention Chavo by name is a pretty significant indicator that something's in the works with Chavo, who, by the way, a legend in his own right, has gone from wrestling to make a career for himself in movies and television, and really, what a tremendous story Chavo has as well. So, just really, really hoping we see Chavo at some point in this line. No, I take it back, in the main line. I don't want to see anybody in this line, because this line is Walmart exclusive and can be very difficult to find, if not impossible. Did I get that? That's not even I don't know what the problem was. There we go. All right, you can see we've got this like book-like opening. Quotes, Eddie Guerrero is my favorite wrestler, which is not actually a quote from Eddie, so that's a little weird. And then Viva La Raza, which is from his WWE time. I don't believe he was saying that in WCW, but I could be wrong. It's been a long time since I've watched any WCW stuff. I was actually in the midst of a Nitro rewatch when WWE switched from the network to Peacock, and Peacock is such a horrible trash fire that it was, because on the network you could start watching a program, and just like any other streaming service, the next time you opened it up, it would just pop you to the next episode. And then when they did the Peacock switch over, that it didn't work that way, so I just stopped my rewatch. And have not continued it since. I think Peacock might have slightly improved that functionality, but this was obviously years ago. So, all right, these tabs on the hands are so unnecessary. But it's been so long now that I would want to just start over again, which I might do. I'm also disappointed to have discovered my initial understanding. Oh, maybe they did need the tabs. My initial understanding of the Netflix deal was that all WWE content was moving to Netflix. And that is not the case, as most people maybe already knew or have found out. So I was hopeful that we'd get a more searchable, user-friendly service than what Peacock provides. But that is not the case. No worries, those arms are designed to come off. Okay, let's take a look at this. I think possibly, I mean, we'll find out as we look at the figure, but this might be the best Eddie Guerrero figure ever made. And again, part of my statement there is due to the fact that when I think of Eddie, this is what I picture. So he's got the really deep, improved butterfly joints that are, as I've pointed out before, these are almost like a rubbery material. And I think it's just to get even more range out of them. And I feel like, still hate that cut joint. That just, needs to go. I feel like Mattel has really, really improved the look of the articulation on these figures since they started introducing these different things. Because obviously you can see all the joints and lines and everything else, but they don't affect the profile of the figure as much as they initially did. The first thing that stood out to me when I opened up the box that had this figure in it was how good the gold on his tights looks. I mean, it's a really nice metallic gold, and you don't always get that. And then the gold on his boots, slightly different tone, looks really good. I think they've done the deco on him. I cannot speak to the accuracy, despite having shown you the picture that I added in post, as it were. But the deco on this one is just beautiful. Really, really great looking gear. Boots look good. I appreciate, like I said, the slightly different color of gold on the trim on the boots. I've said it many times, and I'm sure I'll say it many times more. The articulation on the toes I find completely unnecessary, and actually, pardon me, got to stay hydrated today. I don't like this because it affects the stability of the figure over time, because that toe joint, you can see it's already a little loose. Over time, those are only going to get looser, except for that one, which almost didn't budge. And it affects how well the figures can stand up. I detest toe joints and wish nobody would use them. He's got the drop-down hips that are fine. They don't bother me. I don't find them to be particularly necessary, but they also don't bother me like the toe joints do. Those it's funny how much more expressive a figure gets just with the addition of those butterfly joints. Because look, now he can do the classic no mercy block. Let's take a look at the portrait here. I mean, it's amazing. It's spectacular. The hair looks incredible. This is so we're right here getting towards the end of the year, and we have a new late entry for potential figure of the year for 2024. I mean, look at that. It's perfection. The way they did the beard or the facial hair, like the sculpt is perfect. The inkjet, this is incredible. Man, this I was blown away when I first opened the box, and just again the gold on the tights really jumped out at me. But overall, just everything about the figure looks great. Let's look at height wise. I'm not going to sit here and compare him to a dozen other WWE figures, but he's about 6.5 inches, so he's going to come in a little bit shorter, which he should be. And I mean, you can tell from looking at, or at least in person, you can tell from looking at him, he is a smaller size figure, which I think was one of the issues they might have had early with the Ultimates. The scaling, I think, wasn't perfect. I mean, it's not perfect in any action figure line, no matter how much they want to tell you that they get heights right or whatever. They're just limitations and necessities to doing a mass market line. But he looks a little smaller. He looks right to me. All right, well, let's try out some of his accessories. He has got hands, as we saw. He's got fists for punching and then open gesturing hands. I think appropriate. There's not really anything else I would have put on him. We have got a WCW Cruiserweight Championship that I think has been released before, but I am not 100% positive, but looks beautiful. I am still torn, and tell me in the comments what your preference is. Obviously, the bright, shiny gold has a look to it. It's toyetic. It's appealing on the shelf. However, I think there's some instances where I prefer, I don't know if it's a painted gold or just a plastic that they managed to get looking right, but there are some of the non-chromey titles that I could almost say look better than this. It's a tough call, but I mean, obviously this is eye-catching. It's shiny. It looks really, really nice. And then the paint on the side plates, and this is a great-looking championship. I still hate this peg system that everybody's using. We've got to find a better way. But other than that, you know, for what modern wrestling championships look like, this is a good one. He's got the shirt. Eddie Guerrero is my favorite wrestler, which I'll probably put on a Chavo if we get a Chavo, although I'd imagine Chavo would come with it. It does have the Velcro in the back, which is disappointing. As Brian Flynn once said, does your shirt have Velcro in the back? Oh, the head's on there a little more snug than is normal. Did I just rip that shirt, or did it have the rip right there? Oh my gosh, I don't even know. But like I said, I'm probably not putting this shirt on the figure. I don't remember off the top of my head if Eddie actually wore this shirt. I mean, I know he made Chavo wear it, but I don't recall if Eddie actually wore it or not. Fits on there fine. It's got a really nice cut. I think the cut looks good. Like I said, I wish it didn't have the Velcro in the back, but I wish no shirts had Velcro on them. So this was the default head. We've also got a sort of determined head. And a yelling head, which is great. I don't know which one I want to use. Let's do a little comparison here. I don't love this one for just standing on the shelf. Well, I don't know, though. I could see him doing that during his entrance. I wish there was one with a little bit of a sneer. And I'm just now noticing both of these have a little smudge on the cheek. I bet that'll wipe off easily enough. I'm not too worried about that. I wish there was a sneer one. But they all look great. I mean, they all look just like Eddie. I think I'm going to stick with the default. So let's get the shirt off there, because I'm not going to display him with that shirt on. Because that is, I mean, look at that. And not going to leave him with the C grips either, because I don't have anything for him to hold. Because I'm going to put that championship right around his waist. Ooh, if it'll fit. The plate is flat. Ooh. That's going to be sitting on the last pegs right there. Interesting how tiny this is. So I'm going to guess if this has come out before it came with Ray. Although, is he really that much smaller than this Eddie figure? So something like that on the shelf is what we're going to be dealing with. Absolutely phenomenal figure. As I said, a candidate for figure of the year for 2024. I'm going to add it to the list as soon as I'm done shooting here. I love it. Monday Night Wars, WWE Ultimate Eddie Guerrero. Fantastic figure. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, share, tell your friends about Needless Things. And until next time, buy what you like.
Smash that like button if you like Needless Things.